This is part 5 in our series about building a first executive team at a high-growth startup. Yesterday we talked about finance. Today let's talk about the COO. At a certain point, I think every startup founder has the following thought. If I could just recruit a great COO, everything would be so much easier. It's kind of the nature of the startup journey. As you get beyond the very early stages, a lot of times the founder job feels like it's all about filling gaps and juggling things and trying to solve problems for everyone else, and there's always too much to do. And at the same time, you also become painfully aware of at least some of the gaps in your experience and skill set. So you're sort of tempted by this sisyphean generalism to both try to clone yourself and to try to find somebody to complement you. The problem with this is that it's typically pretty hard to define this role, much less to find someone who can fulfill these conflicting expectations. My current thinking, having talked to a lot of other founders about this, is that there are two kinds of COO hires that actually do work well on a percentage basis. The first is bringing an experienced executive in who you already know really well and have worked with before. And the second is giving the COO title and additional responsibility to an executive who already oversees finance or ops or people. The commonality here is that you already know the person, so you have a shorthand that can help you navigate the hard-to-defineness challenges of the COO role. At my previous startup, we had the opportunity to bring in a really, really strong executive who my co-founder and I had both known a really long time. COO was clearly the right title for her, but I was still worried about defining the role clearly. I happened to be having coffee with Alfred Lin when we were thinking through this, and I asked him how he had defined his own role when he was COO at Zappos. He said something that really clarified one possible way of framing the COO role at a fairly early stage company, but this was also so useful and so truly kind of mind-blowing to me that it also changed more generally how I think about squishy stuff at a startup, including some parts of the founder role. Alfred said, I got up every morning and I tried to make one important thing at least 1% better that day. Which, if you think about how that compounds, if you really do it, is pretty inspiring. Today's music is Lester Leaps In, from the 1975 Oscar Peterson and John Faddis piano and trumpet duets record called Sensibly Enough, Oscar Peterson and John Faddis.